Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today's Tuesday, May 12th, 2015. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh on our way to maybe some showers this morning. Certainly looks like we're getting some from Billings to the west.
Okay, and that seems to be the trend the rest of the week, too, huh?
Boy, you're right there. Yeah, we've got a chance of off and on showers pretty much every day. Today, pretty good chance here this morning, even some isolated thunderstorms around. Mostly cloudy right now. It's a pretty nice shot with the first interstate ICAM with a little bit of a north wind at about 10 miles an hour. It's trying to draw in a little bit cooler air overall. Around the region, readings are mainly into the 40s to low 50s. 51 in Forsyth right now, 37 Red Lodge, just right out of town. The coolest reading, Jordan reporting 33. And we have a few area rain and some higher elevation snow showers developing along with this too. But you see that little band starting to move in towards Billings. Across the rest of the state, very similar. Southwest Montana areas, Missoula, Great Falls to the south with the best chance of rain showers, although there could be a little across the eastern plains, hit and miss showers or thunderstorms by later in the day. Highs today will move up into the low 60s. Best chance of rain this morning, and then a few stray showers are possible, or even an isolated thunderstorm for later in the day. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes.
Okay, still haven't washed my car. Still kind of waiting until that warmer weather rolls around. So it's a little dirty, can't stand it, but don't want to waste the money. So
could be a little bit of a wait.
All right, well, I'll have to wait and see the rest of your forecast. Thanks, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Victoria.
Our top story this Tuesday morning, 4 people are reported dead after a large earthquake rattled Nepal earlier today. The 7.3 magnitude quake comes after the devastating April 25th earthquake that left more than 8,000 people dead in the Himalayan nation. Today's earthquake is smaller than the 7.8 quake reported 2.5 weeks ago. We're told it struck 47 miles east of Kathmandu and toppled buildings. Meanwhile, in Van, Texas, emergency teams are using cadaver dogs to search for anyone who might be missing after Sunday's powerful tornado. On Monday, officials in the small town said everyone had been accounted for, but they're still checking the rubble to be safe. At least 5 people in Texas and Arkansas were killed in the violent weather. Residents are picking up the pieces before the threat of another round of severe weather moves in this weekend. In state news, following up this morning, just days after 3 MSU Northern students were stabbed multiple times in Havre, one of those teenagers is sending a powerful message. 19-year-old Taylor Woolman was stabbed 26 times by an assailant she didn't even know. While her road to recovery won't be an easy one, in just a few days, she has shown tremendous progress, and doctors are optimistic that she will make a full recovery. If you recall, Taylor was at home with her roommate and another friend in Havre when a man broke into their home and stabbed them, totaling 70 wounds between the 3 victims. The most serious injury Taylor is recovering from is a stab wound to her skull where the blade went 8 centimeters into the center of her brain. You can hear more about Taylor's story and recovery by visiting this story online at KTVQ.com. We'll also have it on air after the show at 6. Well, a 3-year-old Billings boy remains hospitalized in critical condition after a garage explosion in the Heights on Friday that left the child with severe burns. His father was also treated at the burn center in Salt Lake City, but has now been released. The specific cause of the fire at 745 Jackie Lane is still under investigation, but Deputy Billings Fire Marshal Trevor Schilling says it is not considered criminal. Schilling says the fire started first, and when the heat reached propane tanks, they exploded. The home has smoke damage, but the garage and its contents are considered a total loss with an estimated $200,000 in damages. The family has a GoFundMe page set up to help with the young boy, which you can find on our website at KTVQ.com. The community of Lockwood is inching closer to making their plans for pedestrian safety a reality. Residents met Monday night to discuss the first of many projects that are to come through the Peaks to Plains design. As it currently stands, Old US 87, which serves as a walking path for students, doesn't have much to light up the streets. If you recall, last year, residents voted in favor to tax themselves to fund these projects. With an advance from the county, work on US 87 should begin at the start of summer break. The goal is to have the first improvement completed by the first day of school in the fall. Following their latest accomplishment, organizers are now focusing on funding. Turning to the economy, new summer entrance fees will go into effect at Yellowstone National Park starting on June 1st. Park Service officials say that the increase is necessary to fund resource protection and visitor facility projects within the park. For vehicles, the entrance fee increases to $30. Grand Teton National Park will have a separate pass also for $30, but people visiting both parks can buy a pass for $50. Motorcycles will be $25 each, or $40 for both for each park, or $40 for both. Per person fees will be $15 for each location, or $20 for both. Annual passes will be $60 now, and you can find a full breakdown of the new entrance fees on our website at ktvq.com. Thank you so much for starting your Tuesday with us here on Montana This Morning. Coming up in a few minutes, a Deflategate punishment is handed down to Brady and the Patriots. We'll have those details. It's now 51 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 5:36. But up next, we'll have a look at today's weather forecast.
Coming up today,
it just came to me.
Into the 60s as we get later into the afternoon. A chance of showers this morning, and then we might see a little more rain later in the afternoon. And this worries me because today is Limerick Day, and Russell says, it just came to me.
The last little bit of the limerick we were talking before we went on air, but I can't remember the first bit. It's a problem.
Oh.
But maybe we could hold this off until birthdays.
Okay.
Give us a little time.
Work it up a little bit.
Work it up a little bit.
So we don't embarrass ourselves.
Yeah. I suppose we could ask
I'm in
on
favor of
Facebook for ones that are actually acceptable to say on the
Appropriate
air.
for television.
That's right.
As you both look at
PG.
me.
Well,
I would
when
never
Russell
say
said it
anything
finally came to
inappropriate.
me,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
know.
his is appropriate either.
There's
So
an FCC
Oh.
lawyer who just sat up in his chair right there.
Waiting, just
walking on
waiting.
eggshells, walking on
Just
eggshells.
waiting.
All right, folks. So we have to keep watching if you want to hear our limerick
Yeah,
that
we'll come up with some.
might not be inappropriate. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
they'll
see.
be okay. I promise.
Okay, what do you have, Russell?
Well, we're going to talk about a cattle transportation symposium coming up later this week down in Fort Collins. And yesterday we had some news about MSU. Well, this morning there's another pretty big announcement coming out of the Bozeman area this morning.
Okay. All right, we'll be listening.
Okay.
Okay, challenge you, Ed. Do your entire forecast in limerick.
And Limerick, oh, I'll tell you
kidding.
what, there's a rhyme going on because it's repeats over and over again. Chance of rain, chance of rain. Here we go. We got a chance of rain this morning here as the showers continue to move in from the west. It will continue to watch that push come up towards Billings. So Billings to the west, the best chance of rain this morning, although we do have that little wave that's moving up around Forsyth, Miles City. Some of that isn't reaching the ground quite yet as the air is fairly dry underneath. As we push the view back, we're really watching this upper low here off the California coast into Oregon that's pulling up this moisture. So what we're seeing is this wave coming out of Idaho, brings that chance of rain up into the area, and then pushes it into some drier air. So you get from Missoula, Great Falls, just to north of Billings, and it's going to be much harder to get any of the showers going there today. We'll just show you on True View forecast. There's the low, there's that push of moisture coming up, so takes that initial wave, pushes it through. Could be a little drier during the day, some breaks of sun. Eastern Montana remains a bit drier. Highs will be mainly in the upper 50s to 60s today, and then another wave comes through. Here we are by 6 o'clock. That brings a chance of showers or isolated thunderstorms. As this low starts to lift into Washington State, again tomorrow, a chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm, although they're going to be much more hit and miss for tomorrow, less frequent. Thursday could be a little drier overall. Here's Thursday through the day, but by late Thursday heading into Friday, we grab onto some pretty decent moisture, and it's really as we get into the weekend, late Friday into Saturday, that we'll pick up the best chance of rain. So these off and on showers during the week, and then we'll increase the frequency a little bit Friday into Saturday. This morning, temperatures are mainly into the 30s and 40s, 47 at the airport in Billings, but all the way down to 33 in Jordan, 45 for you in Miles City to get started, 34 in Sheridan, but Cody's at 43, 42 Livingston. See that band of showers, and there is cold enough air that some of the higher elevations could be picking up some snow out of this. Translating that into 50s, 60s for the afternoon. Highs today and generally cloudy to mostly cloudy across most of the area. And again, we'll see this flux where we'll have enough sunshine through the day to warm the temperatures up a bit to where we're hitting these 50s and 60s, but we'll also have that chance of showers to move in with enough moisture in the air. Better chance of rain will be Billings to the west all day long, although a few showers certainly are possible across the eastern plains. Tomorrow, a shower or thunderstorm possible by late in the day, but we'll start with more sun, and then the better chance of rain Friday into the weekend. But again, just scattered showers could pick up a little moisture along the way, and that would be welcome right now. It's 5:42. Russell.
Ed.
It's time for Farm and Ranch News.
Thank you. Oh, buddy. I really did have it together. I was just a little bit confused thinking about my limerick I've got to come up with a little bit later in the broadcast. All right, with that said, good morning, friends. It's time for your Farm and Ranch News. Well, the Cattle Transportation Symposium, funded in part by the Beef Checkoff, is set for May 14th and 15th down in Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, they tell us the symposium provides a venue for industry experts and stakeholders to gather, discuss, and research and find solutions that directly relate to cattle transportation. The goal then is to provide clarity about the state of the industry and the future of cattle transportation in the United States. Registration for the event is now open, and a tentative schedule has been posted, and we do have all of that information posted on our website's Ag Calendar section for your convenience. So check it out there at northernag.net. In some other news this morning, this time out of Montana State University over in Bozeman, it looks like our friend Glenn Duff, who's head of the Animal and Range Sciences Department, is leaving MSU at the end of June. He says he's accepted a position at New Mexico State University. Now, in recognition of Glenn's contributions, the College of Agriculture is hosting a farewell barbecue for Glenn and his wife, Donna. The barbecue is set for Saturday, June the 6th at 5 p.m. on the campus of MSU right at the Animal Bioscience Building. For more information, you can contact the College of Agriculture, and we all certainly wish the Duffs the very best in their new adventures down in New Mexico. Well, with that, let's go ahead and take a look back at some of the ag markets from yesterday, where cattle futures and feeder cattle futures did have a pretty decent day when it was all said and done because of some commercial buying and support from last week's higher cash cattle markets. Locally across our region, Torrington livestock last week, 4 to 5 weight feeder heifers topping at $257. Slaughter cows and bulls still in good shape, and if you're needing a baby calf or two, look at the prices on the heavier ones, as high as $900 per baby calf. Yesterday, the cash hog markets in the Midwest steady, 52 with finished lambs, 141 up to 148. Grain markets, they were a little bit mixed at the close ahead of this morning's next round of USDA crop reports. Of course, we'll share all the exciting details, as exciting as they can possibly be, coming from an agency like the USDA later today during our noon news. With that, stay with us. We're going to have a lot more headed your way when Montana This Morning continues.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is now 5:49. Take a look at that bluish tint over the city of Billings today. Lots of clouds for us, and as Ed said earlier, rain, rain, rain. Let's take a look at a few stories caught on camera in Savannah, Georgia. Watch as a police officer gets dragged across a parking lot and frees himself before nearly getting run over. Police are searching for the 23-year-old suspect, Brandon Adams, who they believe was the driver. When the officer tried to talk to the suspect about cashing a fake check, he drove away with the officer's arm tangled in the seatbelts. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady has been suspended for 4 games and his team fined $1 million as the NFL handed down its punishment for the so-called Deflategate. The team must also forfeit 2 draft picks. An independent report last week found Brady likely knew about a plan to use deflated footballs during the AFC Championship game. Brady's agent says he will appeal. In today's business news, a Picasso art piece sells for a high price tag. Joe Wagner has the details in your Money Watch report.
Mid-size SUVs are growing in popularity, but they're not all created equal when it comes to safety. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety put 7 mid-size SUVs through small overlap crash tests. The Jeep Cherokee, Dodge Durango, and Hyundai Santa Fe were rated as marginal. The Dodge Journey got poor marks. Drivers could be enjoying lower gas prices for the next decade, at least according to OPEC. Oil prices have plunged during the past few months, and OPEC predicts they won't go back above $100 a barrel for years as producers in the United States boost supply. Well, as a new class of graduates gets ready to step into the workforce, many recent grads are still struggling. According to a new survey from Accenture, about half of 2013 and 2014 grads consider themselves underemployed or working in a job that doesn't require a college degree. And a Picasso painting broke records at auction. Women of Algiers sold for nearly $180 million at Christie's last night. That's the most ever for a piece of artwork. It sold in 11.5 minutes to an anonymous bidder. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, follow me on Twitter at Jill Wagner, CBS. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jill Wagner.
So we saw a shot over Billings earlier, lots of clouds covering, but we're not the only place with clouds, right?
That's right. Across the nation, a good part of the nation seeing spring weather and showers. Let's look off towards Silver Lake, Michigan. Pretty shot with the Earth Cam this morning. As you take a live look there, we'll take a look at our forecast when we come back.
Not to be mistaken with Lake Elmo.
That's right. We've been showing you this line of showers, thunderstorms, severe weather over the last few days, and we'll still have the potential for some very heavy rain and some strong storms, especially as we look right along the Gulf Coast of Texas. We are looking at this system falling apart a bit as it starts to move out of the Great Lakes states. Kept it gray and gloomy and cloudy and showery around the Twin Cities yesterday, starting to move off a little more towards the east. But we still have a band of rain that continues to move off to the east from that same system. For the west, we have a little bit of a high pressure ridge that's still affecting eastern Montana, but this area of low pressure is swinging this moisture up. So right now we have the potential for morning showers across areas, especially from Billings to the west through the morning hours. There's a few stray showers managing to make it out into the plains. On our True View forecast for today, better chance of rain and then some higher elevation snow into the Bighorns, over into the Beartooths. It's going to be pretty high up, but it'll still be there. So watch this initial wave kind of pushes through, and then it gets drier during the day, maybe some breaks of sun, and then by 6 o'clock, a chance of showers or thunderstorms redevelops again. Overnight, it dries back out. Tomorrow here we are about the same time tomorrow morning, and then it will dry out during the day, sunshine, but by late in the afternoon, a little line of showers or thunderstorms could start to develop all over again. Temperatures today will be mainly into the upper 50s and 60s, could even hit some low 70s through northern Wyoming. A mix of clouds and sunshine through the day. A little break of sun is going to make things warm up quickly. And then a few stray showers through the evening or isolated thunderstorms could develop once again. And then tomorrow we'll start off with sun, warm the temperatures up into the 60s to around 70, and then bring that wave through that could produce a shower or thunderstorm. But all of that should be fairly fast moving. So today, a chance of showers this morning, maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon. A chance of a shower pretty much every day, but we'll get a little more serious about rain by the time we get late Friday and into the weekend, when the chance of showers looks a little more numerous. It is 5:57. Look at current conditions and headlines up after this.
Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6 o'clock and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today's Tuesday, May 12th. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. We've got some showers moving in across the area this morning, and it's going to be that kind of week.
It is going to be that kind of week. We'll be ready for it. You've given us a fair enough heads up, but hey, that's a beautiful sunrise.
It is a very nice sunrise with a few clouds around, and we still have the breaks of sun, although we could pick up a shower here in a little while. 47 now with the north breeze. The clouds have increased a little bit here over the last half hour, and around the region we're seeing these showers. You watch that area around Livingston, Columbus, Red Lodge, showers, and some of this doesn't quite want to make the ground, but we are getting some of it as well, and there's even some higher elevation snow into the Bighorns and the Beartooths today. Little bands off into the eastern portion of the state, but again, that's been very limited, and more sprinkles and light showers there. If you have a report of a little bit more, let us know on Facebook or drop us an email at weather@ktvq.com. Across the rest of the state, well, we have the 40s to low 50s in our area. It's much the same. 30s in a few areas across the northern portion of the state. 35 Havre Cut Bank, 32 down in West Yellowstone. Sheridan right now in our area, the cool spot at 34. We got a few of those little waves moving through. Temperatures today will move up into the mid to lower 60s. A chance of showers now and maybe a shower or thunderstorm later in the day. And today is Limerick Day.
Okay, you've got anything for us yet?
I think I just thought of something, but I'll wait till birthdays.
Okay, the suspense is killing me.
Yeah, me too.
I admire your ability to think and be creative this early in the morning, Ed.
Okay. All right. Now it's not going to be worth waiting for.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll be pleased either way.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right. Well,
Victoria.
we have a few top stories, and I'll get over to those.
All right.
Our top story this Tuesday morning, 4 people are reported dead after a large earthquake rattled Nepal earlier today. The 7.3 magnitude quake comes after the devastating April 25th earthquake that left more than 8,000 people dead in the Himalayan nation. Today's earthquake is smaller than the 7.8 quake that was recorded 2.5 weeks ago. We're told it struck 47 miles east of Kathmandu and toppled buildings. Meanwhile, in Van, Texas, emergency teams are using cadaver dogs to search for anyone who might be missing after Sunday's powerful tornado. On Monday, officials in the small town said everyone had been accounted for, but they're still checking for the rubble to be safe. At least 5 people in Texas and Arkansas were killed in the violent weather. Residents are picking up the pieces before the threat of yet another round of severe weather moves in this weekend. We have a follow-up for you this morning. Just days after 3 MSU Northern students were stabbed multiple times in Havre, one of those teenagers is sending a powerful message. 19-year-old Taylor Woolman was stabbed 26 times by an assailant she didn't even know. Q2's Simone D'Alba met Taylor and her family to tell us more about her fight to survive.
May 2nd, 2015, Havre, Montana. A violent crime would shock the quiet Highline community.
You wouldn't think this would happen to anybody, anywhere, let alone Montana, to a teenage girl.
By all means, a winner, a decorated collegiate athlete, a nursing student. 19-year-old Taylor Woolman was celebrating the end of her first year at MSU Northern.
It was the last day of the semester, last day of her freshman year of college. She packed up everything out of her dorm room. Checked out of her dorm room, and then was moving everything into her new apartment with a new roommate.
It all changed in an instant. An intruder would stab Taylor a merciless 26 times.
They really didn't know the extent of her condition at that point. They told us that there were problems breathing with both lungs. Both lungs were deflated, and they had chest tubes in, and they were trying to reinflate her lungs. One of them was full of blood.
In the hours that followed, Taylor would fight for her life. Her family, meanwhile, trying to understand the senseless crime.
Why would somebody do that? It was a lot of anger. When I found out that she had been stabbed so many times, that we figured out that she was fighting back, and that was Taylor.
The road to recovery is just beginning, and it's a battle she says she plans to give all she's got.
But in battle, every warrior needs armor, a shield. For Taylor, that first line of defense has been her family, like sister Jamie.
She's my other half, my better half.
And a community that continues to lift her up.
The good people are out there. There's more of them than you know there is. And if you need them, they'll be there, which is what we found out. It's amazing.
From Taylor, a sincere thank you and a resounding message. I fight to win. In Billings, Simone D'Alba, MTN News.
Thank you, Simone. And Taylor's doctors asked that she not be directly interviewed on camera at this time, but again, she is incredibly thankful for the community support. You can head to KTVQ.com for a direct link to Taylor's GoFundMe page. Well, the community of Lockwood is inching closer to making their plans for pedestrian safety a reality. Residents met Monday night to discuss the first of many projects that are to come through the Peaks to Plains design. As it currently stands, Old US 87, which serves as a walking path for students, doesn't have much to light up the streets. If you recall, last year, residents voted in favor to tax themselves to fund these projects. With an advance from the county, work on US 87 should begin at the start of summer break. The goal is to have the first improvement completed by the first day of school in the fall. Following their latest accomplishment, organizers are now focusing on funding. Well, before we get over to break, it's time to hear about our second One Kid at a Time scholarship recipient. I had a chance to meet Skyview senior Chance Housley, who has taken a negative experience and turned it around, inspiring everyone who crosses his path. Chance Housley may look like your average student walking the halls at Skyview High School, but it's a mix of his past and proactive spirit that's getting him some notoriety.
I do a lot of volunteer work and motivational speaking, and I love to help others, I really do.
Sadly, that love stems from an abusive relationship with his father.
I really wanted to find ways to make sure that abuse like that doesn't exist in our world.
Defeating the odds and going from victim to survivor, Chance is the writer and editor of these YouTube videos.
Over time, with every speech that I do and every person that I help, I get closer and closer to coming into terms with what's happened to me. I mean, it'll never change the fact of what happened, but by helping others, I can help myself.
But the speeches and videos are more than just a hobby. Chance is off to MSU Bozeman in the fall to study film and communications.
That's one of the things that makes him the most proud, is the fact that he's helped kids through his YouTube video channel. Giving back to others is a big part of what Chance is.
Perhaps that giving spirit comes from his mother, who, no matter what, always encouraged Chance to make the best of a bad situation.
I want him to do the goals that he's always done and change the world.
Through the ups and downs of high school life, he's been able to keep his GPA above 3.0 and has this advice for other young people who might find themselves in a situation similar to his own.
There's always a way out. There's always hope, and that they should never give up.
All right, it was very nice meeting Chance, and I must also brag, he also took on football for all 4 years of high school, along with orchestra, and we have 2 more scholarship winners to announce. Be sure to watch every Tuesday morning through the end of this month to hear their stories. Well, stick with us here on Montana This Morning. Still ahead, as the Weather Girls sang back in the 1980s, hallelujah, it's raining men. I'll take you to a photo shoot with some local firefighters who are posing for a purpose. It's now 49 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 6:08. But first, today's Ag and Weather Together, then John Arneson will join us with your Road Watch report.
And welcome back to Montana This Morning, where it's time for Ag and Weather Together. And my friend, this morning, well, I don't know how any way else to put it, but we have a story that would make country music's Randy Travis very proud of us.
That's right, Russ. Federal and state leaders are sparring while a state lawmaker attempts to bring a solution to a rural cemetery in Oklahoma in the Panhandle where prairie dogs have been running amok.
That's right. And we'll tie it all back together, but human bones from grave sites dating way back to the 1920s are now visible on the surface, and burrows into the earth are evident where relatives of the deceased thought their loved ones would rest peacefully.
It's a little sad.
It is sad. Oops.
Local cemetery officials claim that the Forest Service has neglected the job of controlling the destructive prairie dogs, and protections over another species are preventing action being taken.
Okay, so as promised, we're going to bring this thing all back home and circle the wagons back around and tie it all back together with a nice little bow. Back to Randy Travis and why we mentioned him in the first place. That's because, as you and I know, and certainly a lot of our viewers, he had a hit song, Digging Up Bones, in 1986. To read more on this grave problem, I know, you can visit our network's website and check out our new What the Hay section right underneath the Ag News tab. And I think Travis was scrolling through that as we were doing this fun, disturbing story. You know, I mean, prairie dogs, they're all cute and cuddly until they give you a bubonic plague or they dig up your relatives.
I just can't beat that. I'm sorry. We mean no disrespect.
After that.
Oh,
what's that?
Nothing else should be said after that.
I think you're right, except for how is traffic this morning, John Arneson?
Well, we do have an accident to get to, so thank you very much, guys, and good morning. This Road Watch update brought to you by Conlon's Furniture, bringing home style, quality, and value for over 75 years. Now, this is in Bighorn County this morning, and this is near the rest area, I-90 westbound. One vehicle crash, very bad crash, MHP on the scene. So serious, one vehicle crash, Bighorn County, I-90 westbound. That is right by the Bighorn County line out near the rest area. Well, pavement restoration is scheduled to begin again for Grand Avenue, weather permitting, of course, between 17th Street West and 24th Street West. Motorists should expect single-lane traffic. Traffic control devices with center island closures also part of this project. Businesses and residents will have full access. Well, due to the continued construction and upgrades of Swords Bike Path, the 6th Avenue bypass is closed from the intersection of Aronson Avenue to 6th Avenue until Wednesday, June the 10th. Now, the Swords Bike Path is paved route for bikers, joggers, and hikers with nearly 4 miles to the north end of town. During this job, detours are in place, most of them, as you can see there, using Maine. Finally, this morning in Red Lodge, Broadway Avenue or Highway 212 has detours from 2nd to 5th Street for storm drain installation. Also in Rockville, along US 212-310, there is construction from Rockville to Cilicia with a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit. Expect congestion throughout this area. Stay with us, a lot more Montana This Morning coming up right after this.
A upper low here in Northern California off into Oregon, wrapping some of that moisture back around, but it's also pulling a bit into Montana. So we're seeing this wave start to move up across the state, and what it's doing in the upper level winds splits the air apart, so it creates a little bit of a vacuum and it draws the moisture up, so it creates the lift that we need in the atmosphere to start getting some of these showers going. So that's what we're seeing today, is that lift that's being created as those upper level winds start to split apart. Warmer air still into the eastern plains, at least with a high pressure ridge, a little bit warmer and drier as we start looking from Billings towards the east, but Billings towards the west, we have these disturbances that keep a chance of morning showers going, then maybe a little break, some sunshine, and then more showers or isolated thunderstorms could redevelop by later in the afternoon. Tuesday into Wednesday, we'll continue to watch these off and on pulses come up that will create areas of showers or thunderstorms. Tomorrow, we'll likely start with more sun, start to warm things up. The heat of the day grabs onto the available moisture and then creates a few of these storms by later in the afternoon. And Thursday could start off again fairly quiet, but by late in the day, areas of showers or thunderstorms could start to move in. We don't expect this entire area to pick up a lot of rain, but certainly with anywhere within these green shaded areas, we have the potential for some showers and thunderstorms by the time we start getting into Wednesday. This morning, we're into the 20s, 30s, 40s across the region. 47 in Billings right now, 45 in Miles City, a cooler 34 in Sheridan. Some of these showers into the eastern plains, very light or some sprinkles, some of it not making the ground. The heavier rain and the potential for snow in the high elevations, especially in this area from, say, Missoula, Great Falls, south towards Bozeman, Billings, to the west. Temperatures today mainly into the 50s and 60s for the highs. Scattered showers possible virtually anywhere across the area, but we're really going to favor areas from Billings towards the west just a bit more, with the highs mainly into the 60s for this afternoon. Here's our extended forecast. Chance of area showers maybe this morning, then it could dry out, maybe a shower comes back. These are going to be very infrequent and hit and miss all the way through Thursday into Friday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a better chance of rain showers and also trending cooler. So we've got about average temperatures most of the week and then a bit cooler by Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, I'm really hoping it's good by the end of this month. That's what I'm hoping to see, the turnaround. Got some fun things planned.
Memorial Day
on my
weekend.
agenda.
A lot of people. Yeah. That's true. It tends to work out. Yeah, we get Red Lodge. You get the pass open for about 15 minutes and then it snows and then they close it again.
Then open again, on again, off again. Okay, well, let's get to some birthdays and find out who's turning a year older today. We have Eli Schaefer turning 33 today. Debbie Algren is 61. Abby Spear is 16. Happy birthday.
Tracy Ibiak is 50 today. I hope I said that right, Tracy. Marianne Miller is celebrating. Mary Ann Pearson has a birthday today, and Jean Dykes, happy birthday.
Okay, just a couple more, I believe. Dean Rankin, happy birthday to you, and Dick Schwab is turning 68 years young.
Okay, if you have a birthday or anniversary, go ahead and send them on in to the info you see there on your screen. And also, when you visit our homepage, I try every day to post the day's birthdays and anniversaries videos, so you can share that with your friends if you're mentioned, and you'll also find a link within that story too on how to get your birthday or anniversary to us. Okay, well, we have a few things coming up after the break, but I wanted to ask, did you come up with your limerick?
Well, I came up with something. I'm not exactly sure I followed the rules, but I think you're supposed to have, what, 5 lines, and 1, 2, and 5 are supposed to be kind of the same, and 3 and 4.
So you did know the rules.
Somebody paid attention in school.
So, are we doing them?
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Cows are my favorite animals. It's important to note they eat grass, not other mammals. Some are black, some are white, but regardless, they taste better than eating a camel.
Well take it from the ag man. I'll take your word on that camel part.
I'm just trying my best here.
Yes, yes, good job. Okay, I never would have came up with that. Thank you.
All right. What, am I the Lone Ranger here?
No, I don't have anything. So that's better than me. There you go. You get a round of applause from the studio audience.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell, for your creativity. Coming up.
I got to try mine.
Oh, go ahead.
I got to try.
All right.
Okay.
I'm the only one with that one.
There was an anchor named Victoria who in the mornings was in her Gloria. She had the best news and the best interviews and nothing to ever bore you.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Did you just come up with that on the spot?
Well, after you put me on the spot at the top of the hour.
You started thinking, the wheels started turning.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard with Victoria.
You're not getting off the hook. You need one by the end of the show.
We'll see what I come up with. Okay, now I'm on the spot. Okay, we'll see what the peer pressure does to me. Well, coming up after the break, the time's now 6:23. We have Dr. Rob here in studio, and he's talking about microchipping your pets. So we'll have that up right after the break. Welcome back, everyone. The time is now 6:26, and we're here with Dr. Rob from the Big Sky Pet Center. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and yeah, you have another interesting topic to discuss today. We're talking about microchips.
Yep.
So tell us about them and why they're important.
So microchipping is, in a lot of ways, probably the most important thing you can do to protect your pet, because this is what is going to save your pet from being lost. If it makes it into an emergency situation in a veterinary hospital, gets taken to the shelter, animal control, etc. So this is a chip that is about the size of a grain of rice that's actually embedded underneath the skin of your pet, usually at the side of between their shoulder blades. It can be done in horses, cats, all animals can have it done. And so basically, a lot of people think it has like a GPS kind of a feel to it, but it doesn't. You actually have to have a scanner, you have to have the pet in your vicinity, and then you run this type of scanner over their back, and it will beep, and that will let us know then a number, and that number has to be registered to the owner, and Monty obviously is registered to me.
To you, yes.
So if he was picked up by animal control, they would scan him, they would then cross-reference that number with my data, and then contact me.
It's that easy. It's made simple. Now, people might be concerned, does it hurt when the pet's injected with this?
It is a fairly big needle. Unfortunately, in order to get that into them, the needle is quite large. A lot of times we do it when they're spayed or neutered, so they're out anyway. But it can be done at any time. And a lot of times we do it with puppies that are pretty young. And it does hurt a little bit, but having said that, if it saves their life,
it'll save you the heartache of never seeing your pet again.
That's for sure. Is there like a national database of the information?
Yeah, worldwide. I mean, you basically, there's a couple different manufacturers of the chip. So once that number is brought up, you will know the animal control officers, the veterinary hospitals, etc. We will know who to contact with the microchip information. Then they give that data to us. So it's a database that, and you hear stories of pets that were moved to Europe accidentally or for whatever reason, then reunited with their owners in the United States. So these types of this is a national database.
Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Rob, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great, useful information. And if you're looking for a vet for your pet, go ahead and check out Dr. Rob over at the Big Sky Pet Center. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everyone. The time is now 6:31, and take a look at that beautiful live shot that we have for you this morning out of San Francisco. There's the Bay Bridge. Lots and lots of headlights crossing that bridge right now, and the ever-popular fog that's usually hanging out by the bridge. Well, let's look at a few other stories from around the world. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady has been suspended for 4 games, and his team fined $1 million as the NFL handed down its punishment for the so-called Deflategate. The team must also forfeit 2 draft picks. An independent report last week found Brady likely knew about a plan to use deflated footballs during the AFC Championship game. Brady's agent says he will appeal. The man who was acquitted in the killing of Trayvon Martin was involved in another shooting. George Zimmerman told police someone shot at his car Monday afternoon in Lake Mary, Florida. Zimmerman wasn't hit, but he was slightly injured by the glass from his broken car window. Police say the other man involved, Matthew Apperson, had reported last fall that Zimmerman threatened him. So far, no charges have been filed. And our last story for you will go to New York, where 53-year-old Maureen Donahue received a tip of a lifetime. She recently found out that one of her very wealthy and very generous customers remembered her in his will and left her $50,000. He was an art collector named Robert Ellsworth. He left both Maureen and her niece $50,000 each. Donahue says Ellsworth was a friend of her father's, so she's known him all her life, but she definitely wasn't expecting that $50K tip. And we're also told that Ellsworth ate at the restaurant 4 times a week, every week for more than 50 years. So I'd tell me, I anchor with you 5 days a week for however long I last. What are you going to leave me? No, I'm kidding. A nice weather forecast. Sorry, that was kind of morbid. I shouldn't have joked. Shouldn't have gone there. Bad direction.
No, that's
Please
all right.
Forgive me.
I can totally appreciate that. But Russ will also appreciate that he ate 4 days a week at a steakhouse.
Yes, he will. Maybe, yeah. Yes. We don't want to know what's being set up here. Okay, tell us what's going on in weather.
All right, we've got this typical spring weather pattern for us here. We have flooding. I was thinking about I'm going to leave Victoria at this point. Showers down here, so we could see some flooding through parts of Texas, and then frost in the blue shaded areas all the way through the Dakotas and in through the southern and central plains for today. So we've got some really chilly temperatures to start. For us, we're watching the influence of their next weather system starting to push in from the Pacific Northwest, and it's bringing these waves of moisture in and across the area. So we've got these little bands of rain showers here today. So we switch it over and take a look. Temperatures are currently 30s, 40s across most of the state. 47 in Billings, 34 Sheridan, 45 in Miles City. We've got a mix of 30s and 40s in northeastern Montana. Little bands of rain, sprinkles in some cases, or even just some clouds that look threatening that really aren't developing much that's reaching the ground yet. But there is also a little bit that's also hitting the higher elevations. On our TrueView forecast for today, we'll lift this little band of showers up and away so it dries out. Here we are by noon, maybe a few clouds around, a little more sunshine, filtered sunshine into the eastern plains. Temperatures are starting to warm up, 50s to low 60s by later in the afternoon. Now, there is a little wave, and especially with the heat of the day, areas of southern Montana, say Missoula, Great Falls, Lewistown, south towards Billings, we're looking at the potential for a stray shower, isolated thunderstorm, maybe down into the Priors we could see a little as well. Higher elevations really favored for this. Go from Tuesday into Wednesday, it's dry in the morning, mostly sunny. By the afternoon, we'll see these showers develop here in northwest Montana. By later in the afternoon for our area, showers or thunderstorms are possible, but it'll basically be pretty much in a very narrow area, just coming off the mountains and then starting to fall apart once it moves past. Temperatures today into the 50s and 60s, a better chance of showers again, say along this line, Missoula, Great Falls, and then from Billings off towards the west, so southwest Montana with a mix of clouds and sun. We could certainly see some showers in the eastern plains today, just the better potential for something that really counts in areas west of Billings. Temperatures 50s, 60s today, and our extended forecast could be close to 70 tomorrow with some area showers, 60s to follow. But we get a little more serious about the rain with some cooler temperatures this weekend. 6:35, more after this on Montana This Morning.
Welcome back, everyone. The time is now 6:38. In this week's A Better You, Joey Trawick catches up with the mayor's wife, Mrs. Robin Hannell. She talks about staying in shape and running for a reason.
Hi everybody, welcome to A Better You again. I'm Joey, and you are not going to believe who I get to talk to today. Now, believe it or not, last week this seemed like a lot better idea, but Montana weather, woo!
Love it.
It is. It's cold and windy out here, but guess who's out here running?
Absolutely, it's beautiful.
The world famous Robin Hannell.
Oh,
Robin!
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're awesome. She is awesome. In fact, she is well lit. I love it.
You can find me.
See you from a mile away.
It's going to be visible and rainproof.
Visible and rainproof is important in this weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're out here running, and you're out here running at the Conservation Center.
Yes.
And you're running for a cause, though. You're staying in shape, but you're doing it for a good cause. Tell me about that.
Well, this is the event that we're having on May 23rd. It's the Run for Life, and this is part of our run route for our second annual run. And we just added it this year because this was just added to our parks area. We started Rimrock Auto, and we'll come this way. It's a 5K. We'll circle around and go back to Rimrock. Beautiful area.
So this is Run for Life, which is kind of a feeder and a get ready for Relay for Life. You were saying some of the survivors.
Oh yes, we'll highlight survivors.
Wow.
We're going to have flags out. We're going to highlight our survivors. It's a little bit extra, you know, those buffs you wear.
Yeah.
They wear them everywhere. They're going to be here, families, runners, walkers, everybody. Just come out and celebrate. Yeah, it's good. And we'll come through this pond. We'll go back. We'll have some activities afterward. Yeah, it's good.
And it's May 23rd, and people can find out more information.
YellowstoneRelay.org. There's a button you push to register. And this benefits not only this run, walk, but Relay for Life in July when we have our actual relay.
Yellowstone Relay.
YellowstoneRelay.org. And there's a button that says sign up, and believe me, it's well worth the time. It's well worth the exercise. It's healthy. It's a great way to start the day.
So nothing better than combining your own health with contributing to other people's well-being.
Absolutely. In fact,
2 for 1.
This run is great on May 23rd, but I can tell you there's something going on in Billings every week.
That's
and
right.
Participate. Go out there, run, walk.
That's right.
I'll see you there.
Get up, get out there. Get out, do something. Come on, here we go. Let's go.
Let's go. We'll see ya.
Well, it's the moment we've all been waiting for here on Montana This Morning. Today, we've got an item to brag about that might top a lot of Christmas lists this year. While they usually put out the flames, a new idea by the local firefighters union is turning up the heat. I caught up with some of Billings' buffists to learn more about their latest community funding effort. It's our local firefighters like you've never seen them before.
That's good right there.
A whole lot of muscle and a little less shirt can all be found in the upcoming 2016 calendar.
I would say that it's edgy, and it does show the strength of what is here in Billings.
Dreamt up by the local firefighters union and under the creative eye of Clark Martin Photography, these firefighters are stepping out of their usual role.
It was different here, definitely. Just being a little more exposed to, I guess.
With a little nudge, 10 men and 2 women were convinced to volunteer a glimpse at their sculpted biceps and 6-pack abs.
These men and women are very strong, and it just gives me confidence in how they take pride in their work.
A switch from their conservative popular family portraits, volunteering their time and talent, Clark Martin Photography had no problem getting a few extra hands on deck.
Female staff at our studio have all volunteered to help with these sessions too, so.
Aside from the glitz and glam of the cameras, flashing lights, and baby oil, these firefighters are posing for a purpose.
The union set up a benevolent fund to raise money to give back to the community in tragic events, whether it's fires or covering the cost of medical bills.
He's talking about the Rich Duval Benevolent Fund, and it's given away almost $200,000 over the past 8 years. Every penny raised from the calendar sales will go to that fund.
Like it.
While the goal is to be tasteful with the upcoming calendar, the union is hoping it will garner strong community support.
We always say it's our community serving your community, so we're all one.
I like that.
And while the photo shoots have been fun, the union still needs to print the calendars. Now, $2,000 in gift cards will be raffled off and split between 2 winners. Raffle tickets are just $10 a piece and can be found at several Billings businesses. You can visit this story on our website to find out exactly where you can buy those. And if you can't wait to get your hands on a calendar, there will be a reveal party and raffle drawing at Yellowstone Cellars and Winery on Saturday, July 11th. They'll also be sold at Clark Martin's Gallery and other supporting businesses after the reveal party later this year. Now, Ed, I know you're excited.
It's going to cool you off a little bit after shooting that.
It was fun. You know, the guys at the fire department, they're a blast, great senses of humor, and it's for a great cause. I mean, they give families, you know, when their house burns in a fire, the Benevolent Fund gives them gift cards to help them get back on their feet, you know, for stores and stuff like that. And they go and give coats to kids in the winter time. And oh, there's so many programs that Benevolent Fund covers. And
that's
very
true. And
worthwhile.
oftentimes things that we just don't hear about.
It all happens behind closed doors unless you're directly impacted. And at that point, that's when you realize there's people out there looking for us. So every day on the streets, those fire alarms go off. The firefighters are out there, but they also do a lot of behind the scenes work too. So
that's for sure. Let's take a look and see how things are looking here, ladies. Ladies, how are things looking? 50s and 60s across the region today, fully clothed. Showers possible today, especially in the morning hours, maybe a little bit during the evening hours, some scattered area showers and isolated thunderstorms. And then in our extended forecast, with readings in the 60s the next few days, the chance of showers off and on, we'll really pick up the better chance of showers Friday through Saturday, Sunday, but pretty much any day we could pick up a little bit of rain. It is 6:44. More after this on Montana This Morning.
Welcome back, everyone. The time is now 6:47, and there's a look from our first interstate bank eye cam over the city of Billings, looking a little cloudy, foggy out there this morning. Well, our top story this Tuesday morning, at least 32 people are reported dead after a large earthquake rattled Nepal earlier today. The 7.3 magnitude quake comes after the devastating April 25th earthquake that left more than 8,000 people dead in the Himalayan nation. Today's earthquake is smaller than the 7.8 quake that was recorded 2.5 weeks ago. We're told it struck 47 miles east of Kathmandu and toppled buildings. Meanwhile, in Van, Texas, emergency teams are using cadaver dogs to search for anyone who might be missing after Sunday's powerful tornado. On Monday, officials in the small town said everyone had been accounted for, but they're still checking the rubble to be safe. At least 5 people in Texas and Arkansas were killed in the violent weather. Residents are picking up the pieces before the threat of another round of severe weather moves in this weekend. Now in state news, just days after 3 MSU Northern students were stabbed multiple times in Havre, one of those teenagers is sending a powerful message. 19-year-old Taylor Woolman was stabbed 26 times by an assailant that she didn't even know. While her road to recovery won't be an easy one, in just a few days she has shown tremendous progress, and doctors are optimistic that she will make a full recovery. If you recall, Taylor was at home with her roommate and another friend in Havre when a man broke into their home and stabbed them, totaling 70 wounds between the 3 victims. The most serious injury Taylor is recovering from is a stab wound to her skull, where the blade went 8 centimeters into the center of her brain. The senseless crime left the family with anger and a lot of questions, but the Woolmans also say the community support they have received has been incredible. For now, the focus shifts to healing, as Taylor will need to navigate both the psychological and emotional aspects that come with surviving a crime like this.
You wouldn't think this would happen to anybody, anywhere, let alone Montana, to a teenage girl. Yeah, she's a fighter. She's strong. I'm not saying this just because I'm her father, but she really is one of the most mentally tough people I've ever met.
And you can hear more about Taylor's recovery and her message by visiting this story online at KTVQ.com. And another follow-up for you this morning, a 3-year-old Billings boy remains hospitalized in critical condition after a garage explosion in the Heights on Friday left the child with severe burns. His father was also treated at the burn center in Salt Lake City, but has now been released. The specific cause of the fire at 745 Jackie Lane is still under investigation, but Deputy Billings Fire Marshal Trevor Schilling says it is not considered criminal. Schilling says the fire started first, and when the heat reached propane tanks, they exploded. The home has smoke damage, but the garage and its contents are considered a total loss, with an estimated $200,000 in damages. The family has a GoFundMe page set up to help with the young boy, which you can find on our website at KTVQ.com. Well, the community of Lockwood is inching closer to making their plans for pedestrian safety a reality. Residents met Monday night to discuss the first of many projects that are to come through the Peaks to Plains design. As it currently stands, Old US 87, which serves as a walking path for students, doesn't have much to light up its streets. If you recall, last year, residents voted in favor to tax themselves to fund these projects. With an advance from the county, work on US 87 should begin at the start of summer break. The goal is to have the first improvement completed by the first day of school in the fall. Following their latest accomplishment, organizers are now focusing on the funding.
So it takes different measures to get funding for basic safety needs, like, hey, I don't want my kid to get run over when he's riding his bike to school. Well, that's kind of a human right to me. That shouldn't be, that's not a privilege, that's a right.
16-year-old Dustin Freese lost his life on Beecraft Lane because there wasn't a sidewalk. We're also told the first pathway to be built will have up to 10 feet of distance between pedestrians and traffic. And now in economy news, here's a sight you don't see every day: a bear and a buffalo in the city streets of Chicago. The It's Time campaign is directed at potential tourists in Chicago, Seattle, and Minneapolis. Just last week, bear and bison sculptures were installed on top of select Chicago subway entrances. Last year, an estimated 11 million out-of-state visitors spent nearly $4 billion in Montana. Those tourists contributed more than $276 million in state and local taxes. Speaking of tourism, new summer entrance fees will go into effect at Yellowstone National Park starting June 1st. Park Service officials say that the increase is necessary to fund resource protection and visitor facility projects within the park. For vehicles, the entrance fee increases to $30. Grand Teton National Park will have a separate pass for $30, but for people visiting both parks, they can buy a pass for $50. Motorcycles will be $25 for each park or $40 for both. Per person fees will be $15 for each location or $20 for both. Annual passes will be $60, and you can find a full breakdown of the new entrance fees on our website at ktvq.com. Happy birthday wishes go out to Glacier National Park. This week, the park is celebrating 105 years. Encompassing more than 1 million acres, Glacier has been described as one of the nation's most coveted landscapes. In 1896, the Blackfeet Nation tribe sold the land to the U.S. government for $1.5 million. Then, in 1910, President Taft signed a bill establishing Glacier as the country's 10th national park. Now, part of that beauty is getting cleared ahead of schedule. Plowing crews are already making headway on clearing the Going to the Sun road. Although the weather has cooperated so far, crews aren't making any promises as to when the scenic highway will be open to park visitors. And last, before we get to ad, we have a very heartwarming story for you out of Tacoma, Washington. The woman's name is Cece Rigney, and she's an operating room nurse at Tacoma General Hospital. She celebrated her 90th birthday this week with her co-workers, and they are dedicating it to her 6 decades of nursing. They say she's an inspiration to all of them and wished her the best. Obviously a very nice surprise when Cece walked into that hallway, but can you believe it? They say she's with it, she's still sharp-eyed, and she's still doing her job to her greatest ability.
Boy, yeah, that is inspiring. Look, she looks terrific. 90 years old.
Yep, never retired. Probably work as much as she can until she can't anymore. So good for her.
I'm not giving up the clicker.
Don't give it up.
No.
Do not put it down. Keep it in your hand. We love you on TV, Ed.
All right, let's take a look across the region. I don't think I'm looking quite as good as she is at 90. Here we go. We've got showers moving in, feed of moisture that continues to move up into the region. So that's creating some showers right around the Billings area. We'll continue to watch that through the morning hours. And this is going to be where this upper low is spinning up these disturbances, continuing to create some of these rain showers off and on. Maybe a little break during the middle of the day, then a chance of showers or thunderstorms starts to redevelop. Take it into tomorrow. This upper low starts to bring a good chance of rain into areas west of the Continental Divide and bring some hit and miss showers or thunderstorms into our area, especially by tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then, and actually a little better chance of some stronger storms late tomorrow as well. Then Thursday, a few bands of showers or isolated thunderstorms could start to develop across the region. And we'll continue to watch that same pattern develop. The pink shaded areas show where we have some potential for rain as we take it out through our extended forecast. By Friday, we've got a large area into Saturday that has the potential for at least rain showers. Not looking at a lot of strong to severe storms, but certainly showery and cool weather. By Sunday, that'll start to edge out of the region. And while we still have at least the chance of a few showers around, we'll have a little more stability in the atmosphere once we start getting into the first part of the week. Temperatures across the region this morning are in the 30s and 40s. We have these bands of rain, a little higher elevation snow too. Really going to focus on areas from Missoula, Great Falls, south to west of Billings for the better potential of showers, but we do see a little into the plains today as well. 50s and 60s for the afternoon highs by later in the day. Across our area, while we do have a chance of some scattered area showers across the region, we will be watching for some morning showers from Billings to the west, a few afternoon showers or isolated thunderstorms that could develop pretty much anywhere across the area. Today, about a 40% chance of showers, a little bit of a north breeze and mostly cloudy. Might pick up an afternoon shower isolated thunderstorm. Tomorrow, if we pick up any storms, they'll be fast moving, but do have some potential for thunderstorms after the heat of the day, and then a better chance of rain towards the weekend. At 6:57, John has a look at traffic.
Well, thank you, Ed. Good morning. This Road Watch update brought to you by Kitchens Plus. on South 29th Street West. Highway Patrol still working on that accident. One vehicle crashed Bighorn County I-90 westbound. This is out near the county line and the rest area. This would be mile marker 474. Call came in about 5:45 this morning. MHP still on the scene, from what I understand. A very bad crash out there. Pavement restoration is scheduled to begin again for Grand Avenue, weather permitting, between 17th West and 24th Street West. Motorists should expect single-lane traffic control devices with center island closures also part of this job. Businesses and residents will have full access. And due to continued construction and upgrades of Swords Bike Path, the 6th Avenue bypass is closed from the intersection of Aronson Avenue to 6th Avenue until Wednesday, June the 10th. The Swords Bike Path is a paved route for bikers, joggers, and hikers with nearly 4 miles to the north end of town. During this job, detours are in place, and a big thank you going out to Mr. Boyer out there who got this for me, Marcus Boyer, on the job once again. Stay with us, a lot more coming up, but first this from CBS Morning News.
Coming up, Nepal jolted by another powerful earthquake. We'll have the latest reports of damage, plus reaction to Tom Brady's punishment from the NFL. And what's the right amount of coffee for the best health benefits? More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Okay, Ed, as we wind up the show here, anything the folks should know about?
We have a fun event coming up on Friday. It is Bike to Work Day, and Billings TrailNet has been working on a lot of different projects. On Friday, if you're biking or walking or busing or wheeling your way to work, they have a couple of places that you can stop and pick up a free breakfast burrito.
What? I need to find a bike.
Picture of Russell Nimitz riding a bike with his cowboy boots on and his cowboy hat.
Burrito.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I think for a burrito.
He had a nerve. Temperatures into the 60s by later in the afternoon. We have some sprinkles and some showers out there now. That'll wind down here this morning, and then we might pick up a shower, even an isolated thunderstorm by later in the day. And put your thinking caps on for the rest of the day. It is Limerick Day, and I think Russell's will have something to do with a burrito.
Gotta come up with a new one, Russell.
A beef burrito.
That's right.
All right, well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're happy to see you. Wake up with us every morning here at CBS This Morning. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, May 12, 2015. Welcome to CBS This Morning. Breaking news, another massive earthquake hits Nepal. The deadly aftershock causes buildings to collapse and panic in the streets.
Tom Brady suspended for 4 games. Did the NFL go too far in punishing the Super Bowl MVP and the Patriots?
And a legendary Picasso sells for a record $179 million. We are live with the world's most expensive painting sold at auction.
But we begin this morning with a look at today's eye-opener, Your World in 90 Seconds.
People in the capital